Good evening, everyone. Hello. Right, can y'all hear
Good
me?
evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
One moment. All righty. Okay, sorry for that delay. Had to send an email off. All right, let's see here. Got some more people signing in. Okay, let's see. Okay. Ayana, which Ayana is this? Collins Roberts.
Yeah, Collins Roberts.
All right, Mitchum, I got you. Tyler Lofton, I got you. Who else? Cleveland, I got you. Davis, Marius, I got you. Hubbard, I have you here. Hines, have you as well. Tavis Williams,
Here.
got you. I got Jay Down signing in now. All right. Right in the chat. Okay, man. It's hold up. Shakori Hines. Okay, it's Maya Cross. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, let me see something. I have to make. All right, Miss Ms. Cross, I just made you a co-host of the meeting so you can do your presentation. So we'll wait momentarily. Let me talk about, discuss the chapter and everything, or everything we're supposed to go over this week, and then we'll get to that, okay? All right.
Okay.
So let's see here. All right, this is our. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about. So I know I posted that the article and that case, Merrill Dow Pharmaceuticals, and it essentially talks. Let me pull it up. Okay, so y'all should have. Yeah, I got the Melendez case, Crawford v. Washington. I'm trying to remember. Okay, and what would be up is the admitting scientific evidence and the Daubert case, or did y'all get that lecture? Did it come up? The lecture for this week? Hello? Somebody?
It's not up.
It's not up. Okay. Let me see. So I had it scheduled for me. Okay. So I had it scheduled to come up on the 6th after 7 a.m. So y'all didn't get an announcement or anything?
No.
No, I didn't see one.
No.
Okay. All right. All right. So gonna have to catch up then. Let's see. All right, I'll essentially discuss it briefly just to go over it, but it is important that you look over I want you guys to look over the lecture that I gave and the case, Daubert the Merrill Dow Pharmaceuticals. So if you look in your, and I know it's kind of weird because I'm looking through your learning units now, and it's not at the very end. So you see how everything else kind of came out in a timed manner. It's not. It's actually in the middle of the page for the learning units, but it's not. But it actually wasn't scheduled to come up um, until November 6th of 2020. So, and I don't even think it will look the same way in y'all's portal. Anyway, let me see.
Is it the one that says Daubert case lecture, I think?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it says admitting scientific evidence and Daubert case lecture. Did y'all get that announcement at all this week?
No, but I see it on the learning units.
It's weird because it's in the learning units, but I guess it did. So for everything else, did y'all get announcements?
The last announcement is you putting up discussion for.
I mean, but so before that, so what I'm talking about, so every week, when I'm putting up new lectures and new material, do y'all get announcements for that stuff? Or does it just read as if it's there and y'all know because I tell you in the Zooms?
You have to go look for it.
Yeah,
Wow,
you have to go
okay.
look for it.
Sorry about I thought I thought y'all were getting let's see. I assume y'all were getting updates or messages every time new stuff was up. Let me see. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Text files. So it allows me to permit you guys to view it. Yeah, select date and time restrictions. So I checked that it's to be displayed after 11/6/2020. So when you go into who that I was talking to, when you go into the learning units, is it the last thing on your page?
No, it's like in the middle, like you said.
It is in the middle. That's where, okay. I don't know why I did that. So y'all's page must read exactly like mine. So sorry about that. So we won't worry about talking about that this week. We'll talk about it next week. So Miss Cross, are you ready to present?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. I have you as a co-host, so I think you're going to be able to screen share. So you can go ahead and take it away. And what this is Miss Cross is an honors in the honors program, and they have to do a little bit extra for credit for honors credit. So her extra is doing she had to write a paper, and she has to present do a presentation to the class. So this is her presentation. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Are y'all able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So my name is Maya Cross. I am doing the court case North Carolina versus Ray Caruth. So the learning objectives, basically, I'm going to give a summary about the background of the case. I'm going to give Sharika Adams' point of view, prosecution's argument, defense's argument, and defense theory, and the key evidence, and then I'll conclude. So basically, November 16th, 1999 at 12:31 a.m., Sharika Adams is Ray Caruth's, she was pregnant at the time with Ray Caruth's child, and she was his on and off girlfriend. So she made a disturbing call to 911 stating that she has been shot multiple times. She then explained that she believed that Ray Caruth had something to do with it because right before the shooting happened, she was following him at the time in another car, and he slowed his car down and another car pulled up and shot her 4 times. So she was pregnant at the time, so they rushed her to the hospital. She died, unfortunately, 4 weeks later, but she gave birth to her son. Ray Caruth was a former wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. He was 25 years old at the time, but he was arrested and charged with connection to her murder. So Sharika Adams' point of view, before this all happened, they had an on and off relationship, and it was mainly sexual based. So when she found out she was pregnant, she told him, and he wasn't too thrilled about it because he did have one child already that he barely took care of. So he was kind of upset at the time that she was pregnant. So on the day of the murder, when she called, they were going on a date. And she was actually very excited for the date because she believed that this was the first time they were going to get back on track and actually try to form a relationship for the sake of their child. But later she ended up being shot dead. But so they went to go see a movie around 9:45 p.m. Later, after the movie, they decided to go back to his house, but they had to go pick up Sharika's car first. So they went to her house, picked up her car, and then she was following him towards his house. And then he proceeded to slow down, and then a car pulled up next to her and shot her 4 times. She was still able to call police and explain to medics about her suspicion about Ray Caruth and the connection to the shooting. So yeah, she did die 4 weeks later. Her son was born November 16th, that same day, but he is unfortunately suffering from brain damage. So the prosecution's argument believed that Ray Caruth ordered a hit on Sharika Adams, but it was mainly dealing with the unborn baby. So many of the family, Sharika's family and friends, said that she believed that Ray Caruth had a questionable friend group. So he was a wannabe bad boy. So he was friends with criminals that had hit records or convictions for drugs or anything like that. So he met the man on the left right here, Van Watkins, at a club one night, and Watkins was a security guard, and they got acquainted, and then he started doing odd jobs for Ray Caruth, like cleaning his cars and so on and such forth. I believe that he found out about his criminal record, and later, a few weeks later, he called him up and went to an abandoned parking lot and asked him for a favor about how much he would charge to beat up and kill his unborn baby. Watkins stated on stand that he does not beat up people, he kills people. He was a hitman and he did numerous hits for people before. So they agreed on a set price of $6,000 to kill her and the baby. And it went from there. So a few weeks, he started following her, stalking her, knowing her movements to try to develop a plan to murder her. But he didn't do it as soon as he found out because he was unsure if he wanted to carry on with the murder. So Ray Caruth got very impatient. He wanted him to do the hit while he was off at football camp, so it wouldn't be no suspicion towards him and his connection to the murder. But that didn't happen. So he decided to come up with his own plan a day before the murder and told him, oh, we're going to go out on a date. You can follow us and then you can shoot her and do a drive-by shooting. Michael Kennedy is the next dude, and the one over he's kind of irrelevant, but he was there at the time of the murder. So during the day of the murder, Ray Caruth called all three of these guys over for a Monday night football, which was not really the case. He called him to come over to the house to, make a plan for the murder. And it was a series of phone calls. They developed a plan. They found a gun. They found a hoopty, which is an old abandoned, like a not suspicious car. And they carried on. So when Ray Caruth and Sharika went out to the movies, after the movies, he called the guys and told them that we're going to her house first and then y'all can come. So once he dropped his location of where they were, they went out and committed a murder, and Van Watkins shot her 4 times. And after it all happened, he seen Ray Caruth smile in the rearview mirror and then pull off. The defense argument, they argued that Caruth had no involvement to a murder plot against Sharika Adams. He said that him and Van Watkins had a drug deal that they were going to carry out, but at the last minute, Ray Caruth backed out of the drug deal, so Van Watkins was mad. He explained that the series of calls that he placed towards Van Watkins was because he was trying to see if he was mad at him, and he was worried that he was going to get hurt because of the whole situation. So moral of the story, he argued that basically it was wrong place, wrong time, and that he was the intended target instead of Sharika Adams. The defense theory is the spaghetti defense theory. This theory is to confuse the jury with many irrelevant details and information that distracts the jury from the actual facts and evidence, and they try to form a contradictory defense that is relevant to the case, but it's not true at all. In this case, it was him saying that it was a drug deal gone wrong, but it was actually him trying to kill his unborn child. The key evidence for this case was Sharika Adams, because she had numerous transcripts, the transcript callings to the police stating that she believed that Ray Caruth had something to do with it. When she was speaking to medics, she told them the same story about how he slowed down and all that. It was 3 key witnesses, which were the 3 dudes that did carry out the crime. It was a driver, a passenger, and then the shooter. And the phone calls about after they got out the movie, that was evidence too, because it didn't make any sense why he called them twice to see if he was still mad about the situation. And the way he was captured, I believe, is evidence of someone that is guilty, because they found him a month later in Tennessee hiding in his trunk of a motel. So that is it. Ray Caruth was charged and found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, shooting into an unoccupied vehicle and using an instrument to destroy an unborn child. He was released October 2018. Michael Kennedy, who was the driver, was released 2011. Van Brett Watkins is still in jail until 2046 because he has a rap sheet. He is a felon. So an interesting fact about this case is that when he got out of jail, he tried to get custody of his son, even though he tried to kill his son before the whole situation. So yeah, and that is it. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions for her? Okay, well, I have a comment.
So the baby survived?
Yes, the baby is actually, his birthday is coming up next week. He will be 21, but he does have brain damage.
And I actually, his case is kind of personal for me because Sharika is from my hometown, Gastonia. So I actually know her family. My mom, my family knows her family. So his son, Chancellor, my mom actually sees him. My mom knows her mother. So the case kind of hit home. Definitely a stupid and unnecessary situation. A dumb decision lands him in jail almost 20 years.
It's so fast. I don't think you've ever went down and came up that fast.
You said what? Kyla? You said something, Kyla? Oh, I thought she was okay. I thought you said something else. You talked to somebody else. Yeah, I think it was a dumb situation because he could have just manned up and just been a father and would have saved himself a lot. I'm certain he would have saved himself a lot of headache just paying child support or whatever. Because essentially he did this to keep from having another child he had to take care of on child support. So it would have, like I say, it's cheaper to keep her. It would have been cheaper and less costly, and he would have not had to spend the last almost 20 years of his life behind bars, or more than 20 years, I think. No, less than 20 years. But he wouldn't have had to spend that time behind bars, and would have been a father at some point. Even if he was a deadbeat dad, that's better than being in jail. So, dumb situation. Some people need people around them to say, no, don't do that. That's stupid. And I think that in this case, the only person that might have been that person to say, no, we shouldn't do this was the killer, was Van Brett Watkins. Because, he was a killer and he didn't want to do it. He was reluctant. But he was a murder for hire guy. So if you paying him, he gonna do it. But he was definitely saying, I already do this, but okay. So it's bad when the voice of reason is the murderer, essentially the killer for hire. So just something to learn. Decision making. This is all a crazy tragedy. But it is what it is. So thank you very much, Ms. Cross. Good job. So for next week, I'll post an announcement just to remind you guys that the admitting scientific evidence and Daubert case lecture is up. So please, that'll be your assignment for this week. Also, the cumulative course review and final exam review will be up. So my lecture on the Daubert case and the Daubert case, you can print it out. It's the Wikipedia page. You can read it, give you an idea what it's about. And then also the cumulative course review and the final exam review. So next week we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what we talked about in the course the whole time. We're gonna well, before we talk about that, we're gonna go over the scientific evidence. You know, I'm gonna kind of talk about it again, see it, make sure you guys don't have questions. Maybe it's re-explain some things, and talk a little bit about what the case itself, and then we'll move from that. We'll transition into cumulative course review, where I kind of do an overview of everything we've gone over the semester, and then I'll talk about the final exam. All right. I feel like that's fair enough. So thank you once again. Thank you very much, Ms. Cross. Good job. And we'll talk via email. Get your, let you know your grade and everything for the assignment. But if there are no any further questions before I get off.
Nope.
All right. Well, you guys take care. Be good. Good job, Ms. Cross.
Thank you.